involved only in existing. Okay. Yeah. Today let us start with reports. Our agenda of the session is to create a simple and advanced report. I will just let you know the type of reports and what are the report types that we are going to cover. Okay. Let me share my screen. And please confirm me whether you are going to see my screen or not. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, first let's start with reports. This is introduction. If you observe any other ERPs like SAP, Microsoft and all, they will maintain their data in the database, and when you are to fetch the information, you have to just write I don't want to go much into the details of any SAP but that is how it is. Even in SAP, there will be some pages, and you want to fetch the information, just write a query. Objects, and there will be some relationship with the related business objects. Here if you observe in traditional ERPs, it's like they will maintain tables and then they will make the relationship with the table. But here it is not table, it's object. Okay? I mean, Workday will not reveal us how exactly their database architecture is and how exactly they maintain the data. But the only thing that is visible to us is these objects. They deliver us some objects and they deliver us the relationship between the objects, and we will use those objects and their relationship to fetch the information. Let's see. How many of you attended that functional training? Is anyone who doesn't know
We all are into functional training.
Yeah, then that is very good. Very good, Vijay. Hey, if you see in the functional training, you would be seeing one organization. Okay, you have seen a position, you have seen a worker, right? And you have seen assigning compensation to that worker. If you see, all these are individual business objects. This is an organization, it's a business object. Worker, it's a business object. Position is a business object. Okay? And all these are having relationship with each other. So then you are creating a report on your worker. If you want some compensation details or allowance plan details, okay? Allowance plan is another business object. You will just make, but there will be some relationship between this worker and allowance plans. There is one stream. You will make use of that relation and you will fetch the information into your report. But why Workday is following different approach than any other traditional ERP? See, the simple reason is later if they want to change the structure, they have to touch the database and they have to disturb the database. They have to change relationships or something in the database. But here it's completely independent. Database layer is just complete from application layer. So in that case, whatever the changes that you made in the object, you don't need to do much changes in the database. It's just like an extraction of data and keeping that in that object. So if you know, this allows the Workday to be more flexible and to make many changes. Like if you observe in traditional ERPs, the upgrade version, they will release new versions hardly once in 2 or 3 years, right? But here Workday is not like that. Workday releases, every year 3 rich upgrades will be there, and in each year they will release a new version. And if you observe the functionalities that they are including in Workday, It's completely different. Means they are updating with the all latest technologies. The best example is in Workday 20, we were using Flex for front-end UI, but it used to take a lot of time to load. But immediately in the next version 21, within a span of 6 to 8 months, they have changed the entire UI and they have started using HTML, which is a great application. Like that, even for the complete UI change itself, they have taken hardly 6 to 8 months.
Ishwar.
Yeah. Yes, Vijay.
In Workday 20, what app would you have been using?
Sorry? It's Flex.
Workday 20, you said Flex, FLX.
Yeah. But here as a consultant, we will not write any code of Flex, and we will not write any code of HTML. That is how they easily changing their application with all new technologies. But if you observe the UI change in SAP or something like SAP means to say they have to just develop in the Pro or something. Again, it's a very heavyweight application, and there are a lot of changes. Again, we have to recruit a team who knows the Pro, and it involves a lot of transport. Here, always upgrades are free. Means to say, okay, it's a free you don't need to pay anything. The only thing that you need today is after the upgradation, they will just update your sandbox or implementation tenant with the new information so that we can just explore it, and if you have any bugs you can raise, you can just make comfortable with the new version, and once you feel comfortable, they will just do the same in the production. That is how it is. But in other technologies, like we have to do everything, and we have to train people how to use that and all. It involves a lot of cost. I mean, it's again like a complete life cycle of gathering the requirement in the new version, implementing those, testing those, and moving to the production. All this migration cost will also be included, but here in Workday it's not like that. They will update your sandbox, you can just explore that, and after that they will migrate that to the production, and the involvement cost is zero. So that is why most of the clients are looking for cloud applications like this. Now let me just go to our next slide. Here I have just included a slide to explain you about the reporting overview. Here just I have included a few built-in points, and if you are not able to understand right now, it's okay, no issues. You will be able to understand in the later when we did. Okay. Here, Workday uses object-oriented applications, as I said, so there is no database or no SQL queries you need to write. These reports are built-in and actionable. It means to say, what is meant by actionable? Actionable in the sense, if you see any other report output, you will just get the data, right? But here it is not like that. Even in the report output, you can do the actions that you have done. I mean, if you say, you went to do supervisory organization and edited supervisory organization, right? You went to do supervisory organization and created one subordinate organization, right? You can do the same when we have run a report and when we got output also. I will show you. Reports can be associated with Excel templates. Means to say, when you just run the report, you will get some output, and this output are inbuilt with the Excel sheet. Means to say, if you click on that Excel sheet, all the report output will be loaded into the Excel sheet and the output. Reports can be embedded into business processes. You know the business processes, right? You would have all the different kind of steps in the business process, like approval and all. Here, similarly, you can call a report from your business process as well. Reports can serve as a data for outbound integrations. When we are creating the integration, we can use this report as a data source to our integration, especially in EIB. I will be explaining you in later when we are discussing with the integration. But here I have just included few points to make you familiar with the advantages of Workday reporting than any other reporting in other technologies. Okay, then you just move to next slide. Here, Workday already delivered few reports. We call it as standard reports. Okay? You can use these standard reports using a task for Workday standard reports. If I am going fast, please let me know. Or if you are unable to understand, let me know. Okay? Here, there is a task called Workday Standard Reports, where you will be able to find all the standard reports delivered by Workday. I mean, if you don't have any queries, please be on mute only. Okay? And these reports have been divided into different kind of report categories. Means to say, our benefit reports under benefits, our compensation reports under compensation, like that. So I have just selected the category as compensation, and let me show you what exactly the standard reports that are available in the compensation. See, if you observe, these are the reports that are available. Okay, and if you see here, I'm not going to explain about each and every report, but here I wanted to highlight few points that are with the standard reports, that is type. Here you will be having two types of Workday standard reports, that is report writer and express flow. These express flow reports are read-only reports, means to say we can just run that report and view the data. Whereas report writer reports are a little bit different. We can run the report and view the data, and along with that, we can copy and modify the report as well. Means to say, here we have one report called audit compensation grade. This audit compensation grade, we can just copy it and modify it according to our requirement. How to copy this report? There is one more task called copy standard report to custom report. We can just make use of this report. If you give your standard report name, it automatically goes to the copy. Copy here, you need to just give your name. Okay? And here there is an option called temporary report. I will explain. So like this, you can just copy your report, and here these are the fields in that report, and you can include or exclude few fields from this report. But don't worry about this screen. This screen again, we are going to see this screen when we are creating the advanced reports and explain you all the tabs and all the options that are available in this screen. Okay. But as of now, do remember that we can copy a standard report. If you use that, it will just show us one screen, and if you click on OK, it will save the report with the name that you have given. Okay. And once you have copied your report and you feel like one of the report provided by Workday is no longer required because you have your own copy of it, because as the standard one is not satisfying criteria, you have copied that, then you have another task called hide standard report. This is a hide Workday delivered report. You can just run the task and you can queue your report name here. In our case, it is audit compensation summary, audit allowance plan summary. So, okay, sorry, allowance plan audit. If you select this, then it is like you are just hiding this report. This is when you are searching. This report will not come in the search. That is about hiding Workday delivered reports. Do you have any queries so far?
No, sure.
Okay, let me move to our next slide. Here I have included a slide to just compare the terminologies of Workday and the traditional databases, because most of the people are familiar with the traditional database, right? So here I have just included to cross compare. But if you don't know about database, it's okay. Just leave it. Accept the terms of Workday. That would be fine. Okay, let me just do a comparison here. In our traditional database, if we say table, we will be having set of tables, columns, rows, right? Here, the table is nothing but primary business object. The column is nothing but field in a business object. Row is nothing but instance in the business object. And similarly, we have a child table. Means to say, we will be having a table and this table will be having relationship with another table. That another table, we call it as child table in RDBMS. This is a database management system. Here, we will use the term called related business object. In database management system, there will be views. Here we call them as report data sources. This is what the terminology we have. As I said, table is nothing but primary business object. Related table is related business object. And child table is related business object. Each column we call it as a field. Each row we call it as instance. And then view, if it is in view, here it is data source. Let me just move to the next slide. Here I have just explained all those in terms. I have just made it some tests to explain the same terminology. And here you will be having two more fields called calculated field and custom fields. Along with the Workday delivered fields, we can create our own fields. And these fields of type 2 type. I mean, these fields are two types. One is calculated field and another is custom field. Calculated field means to say, this calculated field will not store any data in the database. But when we are running a report or when we are used it in the conversation eligibility rules or such kind of eligibility rules, this fetches the value at runtime. Means to say here there will be some operations or some functions defined for each calculated field. It will do that function, it will do that operation and gets you the result. These calculated fields we can create only on delivered fields and the calculated fields that we have. And it can be on a delivered field or it can be on another calculated field. Next, yes.
Sorry to interrupt. This calculated field you are saying, right? Is that now once that the report is delivered, or else once the output is delivered, this calculated field will be no longer there, or it will be there? Why? Because you say it's generated only during the runtime.
Yeah, it will be there. We can select that into our report.
Okay. Fine. Thanks.
Yeah, no issues. I mean, here I'm just giving you the overview of some terminology. Next, we will create some reports and we will create calculated fields as well, using all these functions. Yes, Vivek, please go ahead.
Okay. So it's more an algorithm which is written.
We cannot call it as algorithm. Yeah, we cannot. Yeah, it's a predefined function.
Okay.
Ishu, can you give us an example how does this function look like?
Yeah. I mean, I can do that. Let me just give one example, but don't go into much details over here. Okay. Here, why I have included this slide is to make you familiarize with the terminology than the actual explanation. Later, after the report session, we will be having calculated field session. There you will get better understanding of it. But I don't want to disappoint you. Let me just give one example. Okay. Let us assume you want to return true if employee total base pay amount is greater than $1 lakh, and you want to return false if it is less than or equal to $1 lakh. Let's assume like that. Do you have any predefined calculated field to check whether employee annual salary is more than $1 lakh or not? Definitely not, because Workday will not give you any predefined fields like employee salary more than 1 lakh, employee salary more than 2 lakhs like that. But Workday will provide you a field. Yeah. But Workday will provide you a calculated field, provide you a field for total base pay amount. But based on the total base pay amount, we can calculate whether it is more than 1 lakh or not. Generally, in other languages, when you are creating a report, what will you do? You will write a if condition, or you will write a what you call switch condition, saying if it is if else condition, if amount is greater than 1 lakh, return as. If it is less than or equal to 1 lakh, return false. Like that, you will use some kind of coding. Okay, even if it is C language, Java or Arab, you will write some if else conditions. But here, as I said, you are not going to write any coding other than in XSLT. We know how we will achieve the same here. We will be having something called true or false fields. In the true or false field, we will select this total base pay amount and we will select the operation as greater than 1 lakh. Like that we will do. Here, when I say this true or false field, this true or false is a delivered function by Workday. We will make use of that function and we will create a calculated field with a predefined field called total base pay amount. Does that make sense? Understood? Like this, here true or false is one type of calculation we have, one type of function we have. Similarly, if you want to change the format of a date, we have some date functions. If you want to get the difference between two dates, we have date functions. And similarly, you have work code and there is a dependent. All the information of dependents will not be stored in the work code. Here work code will store dependents which is in turn leads you to another business object called dependent. In the dependent business object, you will be having information of all the dependents like dependent first name, last name, date of birth, age and all. Then you will, when you are creating a report on worker, you will use this relation and you will get the information from another business object. For this we have some other functions called instance, single instance, multi-instance, lookup related value. like this, we have different kind of functions are available. Let us assume, how will you write the same in your any other technology? Let us assume in above, do you know how I will write that? Select from table employee where dependent ID is equal to self to store from employee and comma dependent where employee ID is equal to EFE table dot employee ID is equal to dependent table dot dependent ID. Employee dot dependent ID is equal to dependent dot dependent, something like that. We will write some what you call joins, right? Here you no need to write that kind of coding here. You no need to write join here. There is already a pre-delivered function. You can just make use of that function. Don't worry. When again we went to the, when we go to the calculated fields and when we are discussing about the different kind of function, we will just get familiarized with that. But here, just do remember that we can create calculated fields by using the predefined functions, and Workday delivered fields or any other calculated function, we can create our own calculated field. It gets the value at the runtime. Okay. Is it answered your question? I think it's Cheryl.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Let me just move to the next section called custom fields. In the custom fields, again this is little bit different. Unlike calculated fields, these custom fields maintain some information. Now here, when you are going for the custom fields, you have to understand few things. You have to understand few things like, see, this kind of additional data will not be managed by Workday. Okay, you have to manage it on your own. Anyways, you hardly find this kind of custom fields, and even Workday also will not allow you to create much custom fields. When you are going for a custom field, you have to give some explanation to Workday why exactly you went and why, whether it is not achievable with the existing functionality. Do you have any queries in this slide, Vivek?
Yeah, I just want to understand, so whatever it is called, it will go and call on the object, right?
Not on the database.
Yeah, not on the objects.
Yeah.
In custom fields, actually, where do we store this objects if it's not maintained by Workday?
Yeah, there is another business object called custom business object, it will be there.
Okay.
Okay, let me move to our next slide. Here I have included a slide to explain you the same. Let us assume we have a business object called employee business object, and there are some other business objects called dependents, compensation grade, manager, and all. Here I just included the relationship, how exactly it looks like. You will see here, you will be having last names. It's a test field, height, date field, base pay amount, currency field, age, numeric field, is manager. It's a Boolean field, returns true or false. Similarly, you will be having two other types of field called single instance and multi-instance. If you see here, dependents, it's a multi-instance. Just have a look at the relationship between employee and dependent. 1 is to M. And similarly, employee can learn many languages. So relationship is 1 is to M. If we see that here, multi-instance. Like this, whenever you want to represent 1 is to M relationships, they will use a field with multi-instance, and if it is only one-to-one relation, they will use single instance. That is what I would like to highlight. Okay. Let me go to next slide. Here we have a task called business object details. This business object details will give you all the information of business object. Let me just go to one business object and show you how exactly a business object looks like, how exactly fields it looks like, how it will maintain the relationship with other business objects. And do remember that we cannot create our own business object, and we cannot maintain relationship between the, we cannot edit or modify the relationship between the business objects. It's predefined, we will just make use of it. Here there is a shortcut to do that. Do you aware of prefixes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Here there is a prefix called BO for business objects. Here I am just going to worker business object. This is how a business object looks like. Here you will be having 4 tabs. First tab is about fields, second tab is about the related business objects, and third tab is about data sources. And if you compare with any traditional one, it is nothing but views. And another business object called reports. These reports are using this business object. Like this, you will be having 4 tabs. Let me just explain one by one. Here, if you have any calculated fields, or if you have any predefined fields, will be listed out here. And this is description about the field. Here it will specify you whether it is a Workday delivered field or it's a calculated field. And here you can see whether it is a test field, boolean field, date field, single instance, multi-instance, like that. If it is a single instance or a multi-instance, it will display you with which business object it has that relationship. Okay? Here, economic affiliate. One field, it is having relationship with economic affiliate. It's a single instance. Similarly, here we have ACA measurement period. It has relationship with ACA measurement period, workflow history, and the relationship is multi-instance. Like this, it will display you all the fields and the corresponding business object. Let me go to next tab. Here, whatever the business object that has relationship, here it is listed out, and it has been maintained in 2 columns. First one is link to business object, links from business object. Links to business object in the sense from worker business object to other business objects. Links from business object in the sense from other business objects to worker business object. Here what happens is, see, most of the time the relationship between 2 tables, it can be or cannot be bidirectional, right? Similarly, in business object also, the relationships between the business object can be or cannot be bidirectional. That is why here they have maintained two columns. One is to relationship and another is from relationship. Worker has two relationship with all these business objects. We call it as related business object. And through which fields it has that relationship will be listed out here. Here if you observe, we have 4 fields, means to say worker has relationship with this abstract spend data name with 4 fields. And if we have one, only this is the link between these two business objects. And similarly,
you mean to say the secondary key is joins the other business object?
Exactly.
Okay.
Then similarly, here we have another column links from, which is said these objects have relationships to workers through the fields here. Let me go to the next tab, data sources. Here in the data sources, again as I said, in your traditional database you will be having views, right? Here also same here. It's the accessible view. And when you are creating the report, you can use this view only. There are different views are available for each business object, like and here this is the data sources available for worker business object, and this is the description about the data source. Here all active and terminated workers, means to say if you select this data source you will get only active and terminated employees. All workers, in the sense you will get all the workers like active, terminated, future terminated, retirees, like that. And similarly you will be having different kind of data sources. So when we got the requirement, you have to just go through the description and identify which data source that we wanted to use. Yeah.
Ishwar,
Yes, Vijay.
Ishwar, you mean to say that so all the terminated and the active employees will be put under the same bucket, and that bucket is nothing but the data source, correct? All related active employees and the terminated employee.
Just let me explain, Vijay. Let us assume it is a table of employee and it has all employees. But you wanted to give to a user that he should get only actual terminated employees. Then how you will do that? You will create a view with a query like create
Both for active and
exactly. Start from here and be like employee status is active or
yes.
Similarly, here this is an inbuilt query written on this business object to fetch only active and terminated. It's not just a classification of data. It is again a runtime query to get that information.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, like this. We have different kind of tabs. This is how we look at this business object. So whenever we want a requirement to select any worker information, we have to come here and see what exactly the field returning that information. And let me just come back to my slides. Okay, let us create one small report and include few fields into that. Here, first I am creating a simple report. How will you create a report? Using the task called create custom report. Here I'm just giving a name. This is how it looks like creation of custom report. Report name is the name of the report. Here I'm just giving a name here. That means the report type. As of now we are creating a simple report, so I have selected simple report. But there are other categories like titles report, advanced report, trended, indexing, something like that, composite. But here I just selected simple, and later I will show how exactly we can work on advanced and matrix. These are the most commonly used report types. And let me just select my data source as active and terminated employees with an assumption that we want only active and terminated employees or workers. Do you know the difference between worker and employee? Simple. Here in Workday we will be having different type of work types like employee, contingent worker. If you select employee, it will return you only employees, it will not give you contracted employees. If you select worker, it will give you both. Okay? This is how
the employee is a permanent people and the worker is employee is a permanent employee. The worker is both permanent and a contingent employee.
Exactly.
Okay.
Here and this is how the screen looks like. Here you can include columns, and in the sort tab you can specify the sorting format, and in the filter tab you can filter out few records which are not satisfying your criteria. First let me come to columns tab, and let me just show you the fields how to add. Let us assume we want employee ID, legal last name, means to say employee last name, first name, salary, means to say total pay amount, and some other information like position, let us assume we need some information like this. Okay? This is how you add columns to your report. Basically you have to just click on plus and type something relevant to the field. Like if I see here, I wanted to get position, I have just typed position, and you will get all the fields that are matching with this string, so that you can just go and select the field which we require. Okay, and column heading override. When you are running the report, instead of getting the legal name, last name, that much big string, if you want to just show last name, first name, basically it is just overriding the name of this field in the report output. You can do like this. And similarly here, format. If you have any currency fields, if you want to display it in a format, you can do that. Here there are different fields. I mean, if you see in Indian currency, we use thousands, right? Here thousands. And similarly, if it's US, we will use some millions type, right? Millions. Like this, you will be having different kind of currency formats, date formats, and all. You can use this. And along with that, yes.
In the format, I can see some rows are kind of disabled mode, and only some are available. So is that any specific reason? In format, can you go to the employee ID format? Can I do anything out there?
Yeah, employee ID is like some
Standard picture.
Yeah, it's a test field basically.
Okay.
So for test field, what can we do? But is correct.
Like when it comes to number, when it comes to number, we able to do modification. When it comes to text, you can't.
Exactly. Like it depends upon the type of the field, it will just enable these functions. And now, okay, let me come to this sort a little bit later, and let me come to filter. This is how a filter screen in simple report looks like. Here you can specify the field on which you wanted to filter on. Let us assume I want to filter based on cost center. Let me just give cost center. Here, this is the operator. If you just click over there, you will see in the selection list. Means to say you wanted to fetch the employees for whom you have maintained only in the selection list. Not running the selection list. Means to say you wanted to fetch the employees of the cost centers who are not in this the list that we have going to maintain here. Cost center is empty. I mean, if you want employees for whom cost center is not maintained, you can use it's empty. It's not empty. It means to say you wanted to list out all the employees for whom cost center is maintained. Then you can do cost center is not empty like that. Here I wanted to control the number of results that come in the output because I don't want to run this report for a longer time and wait till the time it gets over. I'm just giving one cost center called Interest Express. Let me just run this report. Okay, when you are done with the modification and click on OK, it will come to view mode. You will be having two buttons for run and test. Test will give you only first 10 results. Run will give you all the instances that are matching the filtering criteria, that are satisfying filtering criteria. This is how output looks like. Employee ID, last name, first name, salary, and position. If you see here, all these are in black color, and this is in blue color, right? Let me just explain you the difference. As I said in the second slide, Workday report outputs are actionable. In the sense, if you observe in the front end, you would have gone to related actions and you would have done editing the position restrictions. Do you remember in your staffing models? You can do the similar kind of you can do the similar kind of actions from the report output as well. That is why we call report outputs are actionable. I mean, please go on mute if you don't have any question. And after that, if you see here, you will be having some kind of icon called Excel. If you just click on this Excel, it will just print output in Excel like this. That is why I say like reports are built in with Excel templates. So let me open that little bit later if it takes time. Yeah, this is how you will get the report out. You will get all the information and details of position network. Let me come to the sort. By default, if you don't specify any sorting criteria, it sorts with the first column. If you see here 1037, 1213, 1246, it's an incrementing order, right? By default, it takes the first column and sorts it according to the increment order. But if you want to specify your own criteria, you can just edit the report, go to the sort tab and specify your criteria here. Let us assume I want to sort using legal name, last name. In ascending order. I can do that. If you see here now, this employee is
show the test ones.
Yeah, sure. I will show you. Now, if you observe, this employee IDs are not in ascending order. It's in different order. Like see one is less and one is more, and after that less, more, something like. But if you observe here, it has been sorted based on our last name. All A's came first, and then all B's. All these like that. Means to say we have specified our own sorting criteria here. Yeah, let me just go to the related actions and show you test. If you observe here, it is just showing only first 10 results. I mean any 10 random results. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
Let me go back to our slides. Once we have created a report, still it allows us to change the data source. If you see here, all active and terminated workers, let me just go and edit the report. If I want another data source, we can just select all workers instead of all active and terminated workers. If we have any retired employees and all, it will just show you the difference. But I don't think so we have retired employees here. But however, you cannot change the business object because all the fields are based on the business object, right? If you again change the business object, there is no point. All these fields will not be available in the new business object.
Ishwar, can we create our own business object or can we edit our own business existing business object?
Yeah, that is what I told you. I mean, we cannot create our own business object. We cannot create our own data sources. We cannot modify the existing. It's common.
So we need to go Okay.
Yeah, it is common across all the tenants. I mean, means to say not only our tenant, I mean our company. It's common across all the companies who are using it. Let me just go back to the
thing is,
yeah.
So primary. Yeah. So primary thing is data source view is just a table view, right?
Yeah.
Of all the objects.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is like always, if you want to view it, it can be only viewed through a report. Or you have to go to the backend and only see it.
No, there is no backend kind of thing here. Okay. You can view using the report, and there is one more option is also there, like web service. There are some web service, read web service. You can view the data using read web service, but that is again different. It will come in the form of XML and all. It's technical.
Okay.
Don't worry, you will be seeing that when we are dealing with the studio. Okay?
Okay.
Let me just go back to my slides once again. Here I have just included a slide to explain what is meant by sorting, what is there in the sorting tab and what is filtering. But more or like the information is there. The only thing is logical sorting order. What is meant by logical sort order? Do you know Workday identifies the type of the field, and when you specify sorting, it sorts based on the type of the field. Means to say, let us assume you have a field called month. If you sort that in the alphabetical order, what happens? April comes first, and then Feb comes after April. June comes after April, February. Like that, right? So most of the times you should not, many times you should not go just by the name or text, whatever is there in that field. We have to go by the type of the field as well. Here, that is what Workday does. Workday identifies the type of the field, whether it is a test field or it is a date field. If it is a date field, it sorts based on the date. Means to say, it identifies that January comes first than February, comes less than March. Like this, it's inbuilt. It automatically identifies based on the type of the field. You don't need to do anything extra. That's what I would like to explain it. And now let me just go to the other type called advanced report type. Let me open a new tab and let me copy this report and just let me make the same report as advanced report. Just give me a second. Here I have opened report in a new tab. How to copy a report? Custom report, copy. And here you can give a name. Let me give advanced. Okay. Still it is in simple type. This name I have given advanced. Now I will just change this to advanced type. Custom report, change it to advanced report type. Then it will get changed to advanced report type automatically. Or when creating a report, you can give simply advanced. There are two options. Now if you observe, you can find some differences between simple report types and advanced report types. Let me just show you. In the simple report types, we have only 3 tabs, but in advanced report types, we have multiple tabs. And at the first, I'm just showing you the differences at the first glance, okay? And similarly, if you see here, we have field, column, heading, override, format data. But if you see here, there is one more column has been added, that is business object. Now let me explain you the actual differences. Do you know in simple reports, we cannot access the information of related business object. We cannot fetch the information, you cannot sort the information, you cannot filter the information based on related business object, you cannot ask for prompts, and you cannot share that report output, and you cannot enable that as a web service. Like that, some differences are there. However, I have highlighted these differences in this screenshot. But here I would like to show you what exactly the difference is. First, one more column in the business object will allow you to use the information from related business object field. How will you do that? Just click on plus, it will give you one more row here. Let us assume we wanted to get the information from another business object called dependent, but whereas what exactly the link between these two? The link is there with a field called dependents. It's a multi-instance field. Means to say the relationship between these two objects is multi-instance. Dependents, it's a worker field, it's a multi-instance, and it is having relationship with a business object called dependent. Here we can get the last name and first name of dependent, their age, date of birth, something like that. Okay. And similarly, let me come to sort tab. If you see here, sort tab is very simple like this. But if you come to advanced report, here you would be able to find some fields, display headers and grouping totaling options. These are used for aggregating the data. Don't worry, I will show it to you after some time or in the next session. Here, let me just highlight you the difference between sorting tab in advanced report type and simple report type is more of here sorting you can do based on the primary business object fields. Here also you can do, but here you can add sub-level sort as well. Means to say, if you don't specify any sorting criteria, by default it sorts with the last name. But if you want to sort with the first name, means to say any field other than the first field, you can just come here and you can use this sort criteria. Oh, sorry, here we need to give business object. Okay, like this you can specify sorting based on your RPO fields. Here filter is same, but however, let me just show you the difference. In the filter tab you have columns field operator comparison value, but if you see here field comparison value, along with that you will be having some other fields here, like value specified in this filter, or can I prompt the user for value.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can you please repeat the sort term? Just can you please?
Yeah, no issues. No issues. Here in the sort tab, as of now, please do remember that earlier in simple report types you can sort based on the only primary business object fields. Means to say only workbook fields. It will not allow you to do some kind of sorting on the dependent fields. But if you see here, you can add a column for your dependent sorting like this in the sub-level sort section, and you can mention your fields and their sorting criteria. Okay. Along with that, some other differences are there for grouping functions. Okay, anyway, later we will covering that. Yeah, no issues. Now, filtering. Here, the difference between earlier filter tab and now is this comparison type. Here you can specify value in this filter. Along with that, you will be having some other like value from another field and prompt the user for value. This prompt the user for value will create some prompts so that you can enter the value at when you are running the report. Means to say when you are running the report, it will show you one selection criteria. In the selection criteria, you can specify the cost centers that you want. I will show you, don't worry. And in the sub filter, here you can filter some records using the sub filter based on related business object. Means to say if you want to filter some records based on RBO, you can do that using your sub filter. Don't worry, I will just show you. I will just show you sub filtering and I will just show you the prompts and all. Let me first run this report and show you the output. This is how report output looks like. If you see here, we have specified our sorting criteria based on the first name. So if employee has multiple dependents like this, G came first and then P, S and all. Like this we can specify our sorting criteria. And if you observe, we have included some dependent information here, which we are unable to do using simple reports.
Ishwar, why are we having two Excel downloading option here?
Only one, no?
No, two Excel we have here.
Okay. See, this is get the information of report name as well. If you click here, it will click the only.
Okay. So Ishwar, in advance, what I understand is in advance we can add one more business object which is dependent.
Yeah, not only that one, some other difference are there. Let's just go on. Like grouping operations and then enabling this as a web service. I mean, I will just show you. Let me just go one by one. Okay. Next, we can add some logic based on the sub filter as well. Means to say, I want only dependents of type children. Like this, I want only son or daughter. I'm just giving the list. And whenever you are adding a sub filter like this, you have to always include that field should not be empty. Means to say, here our business object, related business object is dependence, right? So we should give is not empty. Why we should give like this? See, the reason is this filtering follows a criteria. First, I will just have a flowchart for that. Let me just explain you. Here, this is how the flow of data happens when you are creating the advanced report with primary business object and related business objects. First, it gets the employee instance and first it applies the subfilter conditions. Means to say here it checks whether employee has son or not, or daughter or not. And if son or daughter are there, it will include dependence instances here. Okay? And after that it will apply condition on the main filter. If you don't specify dependence is not empty, do you know what happens? First it applies this logic. If employee doesn't have son or daughter, it will not include any dependent instances. It will come here. But here we haven't defined any condition on the dependence. Even though dependence instance is empty, still this employee will be included in the output. But that is not the criteria we want, right? We want only the employees who are having son or daughter. So in that case, do you know what happens if we specify this dependent is not empty? Again, let me just go to the same flow. First, it applies logic on the dependents and checks whether dependent has, dependents and checks whether employee has any son or daughter. If son or daughter is not there, it will just give dependent instances field as empty. And here we have checked whether it is not empty or not, and we are including only when it is not empty. So in that case, you know, it filters out the employees who doesn't have son and daughter, son or daughter. That's what the difference. I mean, let me just run this report. Okay, if you observe, only you got 25 items who are having only son or daughter. Let me just remove that filter and show you how exactly it looks like. If you observe, the count again changed to 154. And if you see here, this employee doesn't have dependent, this employee doesn't have son or daughter. Even though they don't have son or daughter, it has been included in the output. So it's the only one precaution that you have to take care to include whatever the RBO field that you have used. Just you have to add that to the filter add that to the main filter, and you have to check whether it is not empty or not.
Ishwar, we have one more option, R, right? So can we use R for any condition?
Yeah, we can use R for any condition. See, it's up to you.
Okay. In this scenario, can we use R?
In this scenario, we want only the employees who are having son or child, right?
Okay.
So why to use R? But if you have any scenario, I mean, you can use C instead of N. You can just select.
Okay, we can say like that. We can say like this: dependent like who got married, and dependent who's having kids.
Who got married?
Who got married, and the dependent who is having kid.
Yeah. Where is our condition?
In our condition, we can give like, yeah, we can give if the condition is like
you can have a male kid or a female kid.
Yes. No, that won't.
Ishwar, what Vijay is meant to say is
here. Either son or
Ishwar.
Yes. Either what we can say is we can say employee who is having a son or daughter, or at least married. Okay, or married in the sense of wife or something.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yes.
Here, dependent is not empty, or at least married.
Yeah.
Okay. We can select like this, but here the issue is like, I mean, if they marry only, they will have dependents.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm just trying for no, but in US it's not must, right? Workday is a US based software.
Okay.
Hey, Ishwar, Rajesh here.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry to disturb you. So I just have to leave the meeting. So before that, I would like to get the information about when are you planning for the next session?
Tomorrow evening.
Yes, I know. Like tomorrow morning, the tenant is not available. But after this session, I will give you a call. Maybe tomorrow morning we can plan for a session where we can discuss XML and XSLT, which doesn't require the Workday tenant access.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, this is just an earlier plan. Anyway, hey guys, after this session, I will have a call with the Ishwar and I will get back to you with the exact info. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Rajesh. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Please continue, Ishwar. Sorry to disturb you.
Yeah, no issues. Here, as my other filter is on in India, so here also I have just selected India. Okay. I mean, marital statuses, for country to country it changes. Like in India, you will be having married, single, divorced, or widowed, something like that. But in US, again, separated, partnered, something like that. I mean, marital status is getting changed. That is why sometimes, they will just create a copy for each country. And they will include the country name most of the times inside. Here for India, they have included it. As my other condition is on India basis, so I have just selected India. Yeah.
Okay, so Ishwar, here we are going to put and and or, so we are closing and opening with the parenthesis, right? What is that symbol?
Yeah.
Open parenthesis and close parenthesis.
Yeah, exactly. See, our condition is like, we need to get the records if employee has son or daughter or marital status. And this our condition is between these two only.
Okay.
The common condition is cost center. That is why to just specify the and or our condition between these two, we have kept parentheses.
Okay.
If you don't keep parentheses by default, it will just do a end condition is between two and or condition, and it will just get all the married employees. I mean, it's okay. Just to support that, let me include some fields like marital status and all. Otherwise, it's very difficult to know whether we got the correct output or not. So let me include marital status and dependency. And here also in the dependent fields, let me add one more column called the relationship. Okay, so this is how he is married. That's why he is in the output. My God, this guy is not married, but as he has son, he is in the output. Okay, like this you will get the data. Okay. Vijay, your condition is also satisfied sometimes. Yeah, like this we can just.
Yeah, I know it's news, right? So I hope it will.
Yeah, like this we can just make use of our filter, sub-filter and all. Let me just try to use prompts now, okay? I will keep the same filter, but now instead of giving the values within the report itself, I will ask the user to prompt for the value. Just come here. From the value. Here it will ask for the cost center at runtime. So here this is it. And whenever you selected a prompt, here you have to select the prompt, which prompt you use. Here already there are a few prompts are defined. You can just select any one of these, like some 13 prompts. As of now, I am selecting default prompt. So whenever you select a prompt, you have to go to the prompt tab and configure. Just click over here, you will get to the fields which are maintained as prompts, and here we have selected cost center and the prompt assigned to it came by default. And if you want to change the label of the prompt when you are running the report, you can just give your own prompt here, but cost center itself self-explanatory, so I'm not just giving it. Here, if you want to specify any default value, you can specify the default value. But if you want to just get the value at runtime, you can do that. As of now, let me just keep a default value. And along with that, in the prompts tab, you will be having two more options. I mean, this you please bother about that. But these two are very important options. It's like required and do not prompt at runtime. If you select do not prompt at runtime, it will not show you that prompt when you are running the report. If you unselect it, it will show. Required. This specifies that this prompt is required. If you give this value only, it will run the report. Let me just select required and show you how exactly it looks like. You know, right, in the selection parameters, you will be maintaining some fields as
like mandatory.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay.
Yeah, like this, the red symbol. Here I haven't given any, so by default it came with the one which I have selected as default. But if you want to, you can just delete and you can just give. Of course, I am giving the same because I found this cost center is having little bit employees to extra work. Okay, and if you see here again, same filtering criteria applied, and we got the result, same results which we got in the earliest. It's not only like you can give prompts on the primary business object, you can give that in related business object as well. Let me just go back. But the way you ask for the prompt is same. If you see here, in the dependent, I'm just going to the dependence filter. Here also you can just specify the prompts from the user for value. I already selected default prompt, right? So let me select prompt. But my advice is don't go for much prompts, especially when you are building the integrations, because it will give you a lot of burden to pass all those parameters each and every time. So here I'm just selecting relationship, okay, no default value, and it's not a required value as well, so I'm just leaving it like that. Okay, here I can just give son or daughter. you will again get the same output. Yeah. There is no difference.
What if it selects during runtime, required during the runtime?
Yeah, then we have to make it as prompt only. Okay, this is what about prompts. Do you have any queries so far? Hello? Anyone? Any queries?
Ishwar, Ishwar, in the prompt, get into prompt tab.
Oh, okay.
There we have a required, field, right? Required checkbox.
Yes.
Similarly, we have one more checkbox, right? Required during runtime. So how it will be? What is the purpose?
No, this is do not prompt at runtime.
Oh, do not prompt. Okay.
Okay, you cannot select both. I mean, it doesn't make sense. See, we can select both, do not prompt at runtime and required, but here we have to provide a default value. Question. Okay, this is what about.
But both are same anyway, right?
Yeah.
Because prompt is something which will pop up during runtime thing, which we are going to enter, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And still we have few more things in pending, like grouping functions. Okay. Scheduling a report, transferring the ownership to other report, and matrix reporting. Okay, this is what's still in pending in the reportings, and after that we will go ahead with the creation of calculated fields. Okay, let us cover these in the next session tomorrow evening, and tomorrow morning also we will be having the same session. Why don't we make it at some 8 o'clock like that, 8 to 10 instead of.
Can we have it early morning if you don't mind? Because we are used to wake up by 6:30 in the morning. Because we are going for. That will be good. Why? Because it's a Saturday, so people might have some.
Yeah,
some
even
we can have it early. We can have it by 6:30. 6:30 to 8 or 8:30 we should have. And evening session we will.
Yeah. No issue. 6:30 to 8 or 8:30. Let us plan. Okay, let's plan for 2 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works fine for everyone, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sure.
And we do have a session in the evening also.
Yeah, we do have a session in the evening. Generally, Saturday mornings tenant will not be available.
Yes.
It's common. It's common across the calendar. But tomorrow, there are few topics like XML and XSLT, which doesn't require tenant at all. So we can cover those topics. It's just for benefit of our time.
Okay. Tomorrow evening, most probably at what time we'll have?
Generally, tenant will be back at 6, and sometimes it gets delayed at 6:30, something like that. And about planning at
7:30 or 8?
Yeah, 7:30.
Or else we will have on Sunday morning. You check with Rajesh. No, you check with Rajesh.
No, actually, Vijay, Sunday also we have planned.
Oh, that's one. Okay. We'll.
But I don't know whether it is morning time or evening time. Okay, let me just check with Rajesh. But tomorrow morning we have. Okay.
Yeah,
and
tomorrow morning,
tomorrow evening as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but it will be after 7 o'clock only. So not anyway.
Okay, sure. I think you are not feeling well. Better take care of your health first.
Yeah, actually, that is what Vijay yesterday I was also talking about. In fact, to be frank, I'm not in a position to take this session. But Rajesh also struck up, and I have seen the discussion yesterday, and based on that only, let me.
Thanks for it.
Yeah,
I really appreciate your support.
Thanks. Actually, I have another batch as well. Now I need to coordinate these two.
Oh, okay. Fine. Thanks, Ishwar. Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thanks.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Ishan. Yeah.
Yeah. Bye. Bye all. Thanks for attending.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.